Before working on the society at large and working on the different strategies how we can make the behavioral change in the community through communication, we need to understand some of the very key concept of sociology. So sociology starts with the fundamental concept as to what is a society. So society is a group of individuals staying together, working together, and who influence each other. A society is, from olden times, it was a closely knit community. Like there was a society at village. Now the village was self-sufficient. It has its own people who were influencers, to whom everyone listened, to whom everyone looked forward whenever they needed any advice. They had their press, they had their producers of grain, they had their own craftsmen, they had their own singers, musicians. So it was a closely knit society. So what kind of food we look to eat, what kind of social custom we followed about hygiene, health conditions, it all came from society. Now after society, the next concept that is very important is understanding agency. Like as we said, society is group of individual. So as an individual, if I am member to a particular society, what kind of power I still have, what kind of autonomy I still have, what kind of power to make decisions I still have as a member of community. So there are certain communities which are very overpowering, very tyrannic, where the individual members have very less power in terms of what to eat, what not to eat, what to wear, what not to wear. This kind of societies were very much prevalent in old social structures, so they are still prevalent in tribal populations. In Africa, closely knit societies, they dictate what every member of the society will be wearing, what every member of society will be eating. If someone defies the rules of society, he is excommunicated. He is made outside of the society. Now in modern societies, this is changing, but yes, in all old societies, this is very powerful, and all traditional societies also, this is again very powerful. It has lot of relations, especially to the reproductive rights of women, the mental health of women, the relationship of child and parents. So a traditional society like Afghanistan, if you talk about, so a woman has got no right over her reproduction, over her marriage. So she is married by her family. Her husband only decides about her reproductive choices, number of children, when to have children. It has a lot of implication on the health of women. After agency concept, the next very important concept is culture. So culture is kind of norms, practices, certain rules and customs which an individual society follows, like food choices. So there are certain societies in India who will be all following non-violent meals. So all the different cities across India, you will find Jain food and Vaishno dhabas, which will clearly be having all vegetarian meal. This will have impact on their nutrition, this will have impact on their physical health. What kind of food they eat definitely has got impact with immunity. Everything that is related with the construction of body is determined by food, and food is determined by their own individual social cultural concepts. So culture plays a very important part in terms of what you eat and what you not eat, what you wear, what you not wear. Suppose women, if they are covered from top to toe, imagine their vitamin D condition. It is definitely going to be extremely low, and this has been proven in a lot of researches that all the societies, Middle Eastern society, African society and Asian societies also, where the culture doesn't allow women to open up their body parts, so definitely they are deficient in vitamin D. So this is again culture playing a very critical part in the health of individual in a society. Post that, there is another important factor, that is counter culture. So in every culture, if a particular norm is there, how a culture should operate, how members of individual culture should behave, there are certain individual and there are certain members who will be looking to oppose it. So that's the concept of counter culture. But these numbers are always very small, but these small numbers also sometimes they become very powerful. Like in US, from conservative society it became an open society because counter culture traditions became strong. There was time when women were not allowed to get into beach wear, they were not allowed to get into swimsuit in US, but then counter culture came, people started doing sunbathing, and gradually women felt empowered, they felt like human being, they felt like being very equal to men, and definitely her mental health improved, her physical strength improved. So that's the power of counterculture. So sometimes counterculture can prove to be a great agent of social change. Then we have two very important aspects related with gender. One is gender socialization. It's specifically related with mental health of individuals. So most of societies, they'll tell their boys to behave in a certain masculine way, fill them with certain confidence, fearlessness, where being fearful is considered very coward, very negative, and women are considered to be very sophisticated, very delicate, they are supposed to be fearful. Now this kind of segregation of behavior creates half of the community, that is women, very much deficient in mental health, confidence, and definitely that impacts the health of the whole womankind. The next aspect is social class and social institutions. So across the globe we face different social classes. In Europe it was the landlords versus serfs. So serfs were like bounded labor and landlords were the people who had all the powers and all the lands in their hand. In India also we face a lot of discrimination of social classes in almost all the social communities. Like there are asrafs and there are ajlafs. So asrafs are people who are considered very highly powered, while ajlafs are people who are considered low in power. They face always discrimination in the hand of asrafs. So all the societies across the world will have different social classes, some classes very powerful and powerful classes exploiting the powerless classes. Then in sociology, another important concept is about colonialization and decolonialization. So if one community, one society goes at war and invades another society, and if they get power over the victims, they start abusing the victim. So definitely the physical health and mental health of the victims suffer. So Africa has badly suffered in the hand of Europeans. They lost all their culture, they lost their native religions, they lost their spiritual and social health. Mental health was affected badly. Slavery was promoted in Africa. Same things happened when India was under rule of British. So famine after famine came, and India lost millions of lives to diseases which were preventable. So these are the power of colonialization, and the next wave that is coming in sociology is decolonialization. So all the people coming from victim society which were ruled by the victors by centuries, now they are looking to think from their own perspective and looking to think from the perspective of their health, their individual culture. We can see a lot of changes in India also in decolonialization. We are promoting now the indigenous health techniques, health systems like Ayurveda, Siddha. It is being promoted now. We are having a lot of new research centers on Ayurveda, which was definitely not promoted by Britishers when they were ruling. But now, in the process of decolonialization, we are promoting this. So the decolonization process is impacting healthcare also in a big way. Now we have process of yoga becoming popular and scientifically researched, because now we want to decolonialize healthcare from modern medicine to all the indigenous system. So these are some of the key social concepts very useful for the study of public